Hello, YouTube. This is the Galley La Podcast, and this week we're going to be doing our One Piece Top 30 stream for 2022. Happy New Year's Eve and all that jazz. We're going to be doing about three a pop. I don't have any honorable mentions, but I'm just going to start it off for just to make everybody angry. I'm going to put Kaku for number 30.
Okay.
Okay. And then Sanji for 29 and Zoro for 28.
Wow.
What is your list?
Why are they so low?
Yeah.
You'll see. You'll okay, I'll explain later. But yeah.
Okay.
But, I'm just gonna add for the record, I didn't include King the Wildfire or Queen because in my head canon they're not alive for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're also not including Big Mom or Kaido, because their fates are ambiguous.
Basically, our logic: if the world doesn't recognize them as Yonkos anymore in their ranking system, then we're not going to include them in our ranking system. Basically, that's kind of the logic there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, all right. Gboss, you want to move? Oh yeah, and also this is me, Akainu Fanboy. There's Gboss and there's Jimper. Okay, cool. I just wanted to need to finish the introduction. Like and subscribe. All right.
So I have like one honorable mention, and that's Kuma. So I had him on the last one, last year's too, because if he regains his his mind, I think he is going to be up there because I think he's really strong.
Mm-hmm.
He's broken.
Yeah, and then on that train, also the Seraphim, are honorable mentions as well because we still don't know the full level of their capabilities, even though they're supposed to be on par with the warlords.
Yep.
So, okay, so my number 30 is Weevil, the most relevant of characters.
I was considering putting him for my 32, so yeah. That's interesting.
I still think he's a phony, so.
I mean, he's strong enough to take out some of the Whitebeard commanders, so.
That is true.
And then I have Magellan.
Wow, still making it.
I'm still on the Magellan train just because he took out Blackbeard's whole crew.
Okay.
And this is, and then I put Sengoku as 28.
Wow.
Just because he's retired now, and he's old.
Right. Gray hair is definitely an indicator to loss of power. Because before time skip, he was slapping on Blackbeard, so.
Yeah.
All right. My number 30 is Jinbei.
Okay.
29 is also Magellan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And then number 28 is Seraphim, like any Seraphim.
Okay.
Because everybody above this, I could see beating them, but those two below, I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fair.
That's fair. So that begs the question: Are Seraphim, would they be affected by poison from Magellan?
I doubt it.
Because they're artificial.
Yeah, but are they more like robot, or are they more like actual human?
That's the question. I'm not sure.
I think they are basically roughly human, like clones, like the German soldiers, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So maybe they would be effective. Not sure.
Yeah, not sure either. But yeah.
Well, like the Jinbei Seraphim would have an easier time where he could just swim into the ground and everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have powers where they can get around.
Right. Like, I kind of just assume they're all equal strength, even though they can do different stuff. They all even out, but I could be wrong on that. Like the Mihawk one could maybe just be insanely stronger than the rest or something.
Yeah. Imagine what devil fruit he has.
Yeah.
The rust fruit.
Yeah.
Or the Blackbeard potential Seraphim too. Yeah, that's just some thoughts there. But let's see. So my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Yamato for 27.
Okay.
Vasco shot for 26. And then let's see, 25 for Shiryu.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Yamato has a very strong devil fruit, mythical zone, that might be awakened, just judging by the flame cloud around her neck. Also, advanced Conqueror's Hockey, 1v1ing Kaido, but she's under Shiryu and Vasco shot.
Yeah. So part of it, I think it's like. So I think the Blackbeard Pirates are strong, but I think we're kind of getting an indicator like they are insanely strong, I think, to be honest. Just I don't know. Just seeing the W's they've been getting recently on the story, and I'm thinking that again in my headcanon, they're gonna be at a place where they're gonna be able to take down Shanks' commanders, and I have Shanks' commanders like pretty high up too, you know? Vasco Shot could have I mean, let's be real. He probably has like a pretty broken fruit because all Blackbeard's people do at this point. Shiryu is, let's see, he approximates Magellan's level as a prison warder pre-time skip and pre-double fruit as well. And he's probably going to end up being the third strongest swordsman in the series too. Like, and again, just headcanon, just putting this all out there by the end, basically. And I feel like Blackbeard's right-hand man is just gonna eke it out over Yamato. Yeah, Yamato had like a really impressive showing, but I feel like a first commander is gonna have that type of showing against Yonko too. For I'm not saying like an extended period of time, but for a brief amount of time. Yeah. That's kind of how I look at it, at least, you know. But like I think Yamato it would be high diff against those two for sure. Yeah. But I still think Zoro, Sanji are still weaker than her. Obviously. I don't think they've shown enough. I have a hard time seeing them doing that just a 1v1 with Kaido, I guess, to put it frankly, you know. And like I said, just the tricky nature of the Blackbeard Pirates, they're really hard to beat because they're just so like mischievous and stuff, you know. They're more cunning, if that makes sense, you know.
Yeah. I just want to point out that Vasco Shot got just one shot by Hancock. That's just me.
No, I agree.
I was gonna say the same thing.
I'm gonna agree, but I also have Hancock later on in this list, so I'm being consistent in that sense.
You have Hancock over Yamato.
Yeah.
That's next level.
That's.
I think that's fair. Yeah. I think that's completely fair.
You're a Yamato hater.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you on the Shiryu points. I don't have him on my list just because. For my list, I would like to see them have at least like one substantial fight.
Yeah.
Unless they're like known by reputation, like Shanks or Dragon or something.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Right, yeah. So yeah, that's my piece. Yeah.
Okay. So 27, I have Marco, who dropped down from my last list because he did not. I mean, he has their regenerative powers, and he was taking on King and Queen, but he wasn't really putting up that strong of a fight.
Yeah. Compared
to Marineford. And then just squeaking in at 26, just based on this last chapter, is Kaku.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's more than me, dude. That's crazy. Wow.
No shot.
So I just think, just scaled on Lucci, I think Kaku is that strong. I'm just looking at who, like, these people below him he could fight. And I think he would win against. He's roughly on the same level as Marco, but I think he would just beat him out eventually.
See, I'm not mad about it, but like.
Yeah, I think Lucci's way above anyone else in CP0, so I did not even put Gaku on my list.
Yeah, so I think in defense of Geboss here, I would say that he has like reason to think his power level went crazy high because remember how Lucci led with his old strongest attack? The same with Kaku. Right. Led with his and he did it casually while back in Eni's lobby. It took like I don't know, like 10 seconds to kind of like rack that up basically.
Yeah, he had to
slice the whole tower in half.
Yeah, he had to charge it up. So
right.
And he didn't even have to charge it up. He was in his base human form at this point with no hockey on it either.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where I have them. And then number 25 I have Jinbei.
Wow, really? Huh.
Yeah.
Jinbei over Marco.
Just based on his showing, like he didn't really get that damaged at all from the raid. And he took out Who's Who really easily. He's the only person in the series who has shown that full body coding actually works. So
okay.
Just based on that, the only thing that would really hold him back and why I have him lower than some of these other upcoming characters is his speed is just not there unless he's in the water.
Okay.
But yeah.
I still think it's a little wild. It's over Marco though. I do not think he's first commander level. Like, that's just kind of my whole. Yeah.
I mean, so just picture him going up against like king or queen. How do you think he would do?
At the same time?
No.
Well, I think he'd be bloody in the first 5 minutes.
I think
at the same time. I think. Oh, sorry.
I think he would do just about the same as Zoro and Sanji, who got. Despite what people say, they both struggled against King and Queen, so and they both passed out after their fights. So I think he would be that, but the main thing holding him down is being on land and his speed.
Yeah, and he can't really like fly or anything like that too. You know. Yeah. So.
No, he's kind of a tank.
Yeah.
Okay. So my 27 is Sabo.
Wow, really?
Sabo that low?
Oh yeah.
That's wild. That's crazy.
My 26 is Doflamingo.
Okay.
And my 25 is Sanji.
Okay.
Look, I'm not mad. Like, Sanji over the Trash Can Revolutionaries. Like, that's good. But
I underrate the Revolutionaries like heavy.
Wait till you see where I place Lindbergh.
Shut up. Get out of here.
I don't think Sabo's that strong. Did you guys put Doflamingo on? Actually, maybe let me not spoil that. But I think Doflamingo's really strong. I think people underrate Doflamingo a lot. Like, he's got Awakened Fruit, Conqueror's Hockey. Mm-hmm. Sure, he lost to Gear Fort Luffy, but I think he could still beat everybody that's under him.
I mean, he was also using, like, the bird cage. He took a gamma knife, had to restitch his entire insides. It's true. So
yeah,
he got stalled by all the gladiators for 3 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or 10 episodes.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's an interesting matchup, Doflamingo versus Jinbei, actually.
Mm-hmm. I think...
Dofi.
Yeah, I think Dofi would beat Jinbei. But that's the issue with, like, Sanji over Doflamingo, like, on a one-on-one.
I think Sanji at this point is insanely strong, so I could see him like barely squeaking it out.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Like he Yeah, Sanji's super quick, but also that regen ability is just gonna be broken now.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, cool. My turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, all the Sabo fans are just screaming right now. That's so good.
Also, I don't like Sabo. To throw that in there.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah. Also he struggled immensely against Burgess, so I didn't want to throw that out there. But Katakuri at 24, Marco at 23, and then Lucky Roo at 22.
Okay. Why put Katakuri over or under Marco?
I think part of it's like Marco's fruit. I look, like, he did kind of get temporarily taken out and everything, but he still kind of got back up right after,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I just kind of think we've seen more. Like, he's been able to clash with admirals more and things like that, while Cap did struggle a bit against Gear 4 Luffy, and I know there's a lot of handicaps in that fight, and I completely understand and agree. I think Katakuri in a sense still won that fight because of just the huge benefits that Luffy got during that fight. But I think Marco clashing with admirals a bit more impressive. I have a harder time seeing Katakuri clash with admirals the same way Marco did, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And having the same amount of stamina too. Marco was really going crazy throughout Marineford when you think about it. The amount of hits he took with the C cups and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I have a harder time Katakuri putting up that same amount of stamina, to be honest.
Okay.
I get it, he has hockey and everything, but also, and another thing too, Marco going against King and Queen too was really freaking impressive.
Very impressive. I mean, he almost made it look easy, and he didn't get hurt, did he? If I'm remembering correctly.
I mean, he was taken.
Well, he
out.
did kind of. He got partially KO'd. He
Yeah.
was out of the fight, but he kind of got back in a little later. And again, that regen ability just helps so much,
Mm-hmm.
So I think over a long-term battle, I think Marco's just gonna get the edge,
Yeah.
because of that point. He may not have the impressive hockey abilities, but because of the reheal, that makes him really hard to take over a long period of time.
So, I think my question is, how does hockey interact with his abilities? So, do you think that it would negate them, because we've seen strong enough hockey can cancel out a devil fruit? So,
yeah, it's kind of weird because
so.
Yeah, Marineford's kind of weird with how their whole hockey system was, because you'd assume the admirals had strong enough hockey to go through it, but they needed to get the C cuffs, on him and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's not the best example to use. And then King and Queen's hockey was kind of Maybe they'll make it more apparent in the anime, but it wasn't really that apparent in the manga either.
Yeah, we really didn't see that much hockey from any of the Flying Six besides Who's Who, and did Black Maria use any?
I don't think so.
I think Ulti used it on when she did her head attacks.
Yeah, Ulti did. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I put Lucky Roo up there just because, again, the way to describe Shanks is a immediate circle and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And just him being there the first episode of the series, all that kind of stuff too. So yeah, that's why I kind of put even Lucky Roo above the first commanders.
Yeah.
And then that's it for me.
Okay. Okay, so I'm looking at my list. I might swap these next two. Yeah. So my number 24 is Anel. He's coming back eventually.
Wow.
Wow. Number 23 is Hancock.
Okay.
And number 22 is Dofi.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Anel would be higher if I just think during this like 2-year time skip, he probably hasn't trained that much. He just relied a lot on his devil fruit and his observation hockey. So
yeah, I mean, I feel he loses to anyone with like proficient hockey nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that his Logia is really carrying him.
Oh, yeah, it's really good.
So, like if he gets out off a shot on someone before they put up their armament hockey, that would
so.
be, yeah.
Just to compare with your list, you think he can beat Sengoku?
Yes.
Wow.
No. Sorry. He has a mythical zone. Come on. He has a mythical zone.
I mean, Sengoku's up there, even though we haven't seen him fight that much. He's fought off screen a lot with people, but I'm just putting him around that level just based on just how
old age.
Yeah, and he's in retirement right now. So
okay.
Yeah, that's the only reason. He was way higher on my last one. But yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I still think he's really strong.
Okay. But Doflamingo over Old Admiral. That's crazy to me. That's
Doflamingo's strong.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
All right. So my 24 is Shiryu.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
This is just assuming basically he's about as strong as Zoro, and then my 23 is Zoro.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And my 22 is Katakuri.
Okay.
Just because I think Zoro's almost there, but I still can't see him beating Katakuri. Honestly, as you said, Katakuri basically won that fight. I think he gave up in the end because he realized he didn't want to win. So
yeah,
I think if he wanted to, he still would have beat Luffy in that fight, even with all the handicaps.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's still way up there.
Definitely.
And as for Shiryu, I said, I mean, Blackbeard's right hand, he at least seems to be this strong. I might even be lowballing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My turn.
Yeah. If no one else has anything to say.
Okay. Boa.
Okay.
21. Kobe for 20.
What? Are you serious?
I'm gonna explain my case. And then 19 for shit, what's his name? Ben Beckman, yeah.
You put Kobe over Katakuri and Yamato and Zoro and Sanji.
Dude, Kobe beats Yamato. That's a great take.
Okay. So let me do my piece here. Okay. So when we had Kobe at the beginning of the series, he was weaker than Alvida Pirate Fodder. Okay? And then in One Piece time, okay, he went to, let's see here. Do you think Annie's lobbies from the beginning of the story, like, what, a couple months?
I would say maybe, like, 6 months, maybe.
Yeah, I looked it up the other day. I think it was 6 months.
Yeah.
Or that 6 months was at the end of Marineford since the start of the story, I think. Could be wrong.
Okay. So let's just say roughly a couple to 6 months, he went from below Alvida pirate fodder to getting a sneak attack in on Luffy with a Soru attack, where he actually got blooded on him, right? Like, and he mastered one of the 6 power techniques that even Luffy at that point didn't know until like he fought a CP9 agent basically, and then he got it. Like, so that growth rate is insane. 1, 2, his hockey is kind of been hyped up to probably go beyond Katakuri's in terms of just like the type of observation he has, where it's like a quasi like omniscient, where he just kind of knows everything on a battlefield. We haven't seen anything like that really. Maybe like the only exception would be Enel, you know?
Yeah.
right? So like crazy Haki there. I know there's like that weird One Piece special, but his abilities kind of looked interesting there too. He's been hyped up by a lot of strong characters, from Kuros to Blackbeard referring to him as hero, and then just just like the hype surrounding the Rocky Port incident, and then furthermore, when you had a Vice Admiral, 2 Yonko commanders trying to get Boa, and Boa does her attack, the only ones left are Yonko and Kobe, who are not affected.
Yeah, but that could just be because Kobe wasn't horny.
Exactly.
But Blackbeard's Blackbeard's the horniest motherfucker, and he's also one of the most oblivious and dumb. Like, he's like the easiest one to be what's the word? Surprised attack, basically. That's that's what he's known for, and he didn't get surprised by that. So how I interpret that panel is that their Haki was too powerful for her fruit, basically. That's how I see it.
Like a Law situation with
yeah.
What's his name's fruit?
Doc Hughes, yeah.
Doc Hughes, right.
Yeah. So that's how I interpret that whole panel right there, because Blackbeard would be like the prime example of being affected by that fruit, because he's always like the one to be like getting caught in surprise, and also like with the jewelry body thing, like he was really attracted to her, so like of course he's gonna be super attracted to Boa too. So I think like there had to be like a Haki immunity with these people here. I think that's like the only logical explanation. And then what's the last thing? Oh, and then the fact that Blackbeard felt the need to kidnap Kobe, and then Garp feeling the need to rescue Kobe. So, putting that all there, I think... Oh, and also the idea that if he's the new Garp, and Luffy's like a Yonko, and we already see his insane growth rate, I don't really think it's crazy to say that he's stronger than some first commanders. No. If he's the new Garp and Luffy's the new Roger.
Yeah.
Like, do you think like okay, we saw his growth rate over a couple months. So what do you think his growth rate's going to be over the 2-year time skip?
Okay, but I'm just looking at who you have below him, and what they've accomplished based on just hype, based on other characters.
It's not just hype though. It's not just hype because I do think that the only reason I'm doing this is because of that chapter with the Boa Blackbeard thing. Okay. I genuinely thought that was an impressive feat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the same example, just Yamato. You think Kobe could spar with Kaido?
Let's see. I think it's gonna look. Well, it's kind of hard. So okay, so hold on. This is like by difficulty with Kobe, and that's what I'm ranking. We've never seen him fight over an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And his fighting style, like with his Haki, like obviously he's not gonna tank hits. I think the same way that Yamato is because of her fruit and all that stuff. But Kobe's observation might just be that broken where he can like avoid attacks in a similar way to make him like last over a long period of time. Like, because we saw like how broken Katakuri's was, his like future sight and stuff. But I think Kobe has better observation than Katakuri.
But it's
okay.
But it's technically not
if that
future
makes sense.
sight.
Well, I think it's something that's better than future sight though. But it's like in the area of observation though. And one last I know this is like more of a weird point, but like Shanks has only like praised 2 people in the series, and that's like Luffy and Kobe,
Mm-hmm.
And also Blackbeard was like emotionally perturbed by Kobe's like speech and everything too, and which is like a weird thing for Blackbeard. So, and just like him as the new Garp and everything, I value Garp a lot. Like with the whole rocks thing and everything too, and we've just seen his growth rate. That's why I'm putting him here basically. I think, and obviously if I have Vasco Shot up here too, then he's going to be higher than Vasco Shot because Vasco Shot got taken out by Boa's power too.
Yeah.
So, I will say like Boa has gone up after that chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Boa stocks like went through the roof. That was insanely powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's my Kobe case.
I'm just picturing Kobe blocking the ocean sovereignty the same way that Zoro did. But I feel like he would get deleted immediately.
That's true. Hey, well, Zoro was about to be deleted too if Law didn't help him out.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I said, it's hard because we've just never seen him fight.
Yeah.
So I'm going off just a couple feats and the hype in the story, and then also the structure of the story of him being the new Garb. Because clearly he's the new Garb. Like, that's undisputed. It's not Smoker.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, anyways, that's my point. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. 21 is Sanji.
Damn.
20 is Zoro. Well, I haven't included, like, any of, like, the Yonko crew like you guys have, so.
Okay.
Zoro, and then 19 I have Kid.
Okay.
Yeah. I have Kid lower than a lot of the other people who fought, like Luffy and Law, who were up on the roof and defeated Yonko, just because I understand that he's really tough, but just based on... It's very situational, like, with how much metal he can get and everything.
Yeah.
So...
His fruit isn't great.
Yeah. His awakening's really good, though.
True.
Yeah, I like that. But yeah, don't really have that much to say. The hardest point for me was trying to think, like, on a one-on-one fight if Zoro and Sanji would beat Doflamingo, and same with Kid. Like,
yeah, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, Doflamingo's like a tier breaker. Like on who could beat him or not, just because he has so many crazy feats.
Mm-hmm. See, I did the same thing as you. I put him right over him just because I think they could probably barely scrape it out.
Yeah, like with Sanji with Ifrit Janbei, and then the King of Hell Zoro stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have to say pretty much.
Okay. Yeah. Notice how our lists don't have a lot of discussion because they're good and they're not controversial.
Okay. What? Okay. No. Putting Doflamingo over Sengoku controversial. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
But the only reason it's not controversial to Sabo is because nobody likes Sabo in this stream. So they're okay with putting Sabo that low. That is controversial though. Like a Doflamingo over Sabo is controversial.
Okay. So my 21 is Beckman.
Okay.
Wow, that low.
My 20 is Marco.
Wow, really? Wow.
And my 19 is Boa.
Okay.
So, reason I put Marco over Ben Beckman is, I don't know. I just think Marco is super underrated sometimes. Just the fact that he fought with 2 Yonko commanders at the same time and came out okay. I mean, that's enough for me to, put him this high. But you could argue Beckman could do the same. We just haven't seen enough from him at this point in time.
Yeah.
And then Hancock being this high, you saw what she can do to Blackbeard's commanders. That is insane power level. I think the only people that could probably counter that are like people with strong enough hockey, like Law or Kaido, who could probably just negate her ability completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Real quick sidebar, but let's give some credit to Momonga, the vice admiral.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Look, his stock went up. Like the real stock. Like when you think about it, that looks way more impressive looking back on that.
Yeah.
That's because he's too much of a Chad.
Yeah, he's my favorite vice admiral. He's awesome.
Yeah, I mean he gets love more than the other vice admirals. So.
Yeah, I was about to say, to be fair, he's like the only one that's gotten like any sort of attention.
Yeah, I more than Smoker, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just want to say one thing about Marco. I will give that he has amazing like regenerative abilities and everything, but just based on like whether he could KO like a stronger opponent, that's where my issue lies with his power.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, well, I kind of see it with like Big Mom though. Like, if you can wait out your opponent, then you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, then you can take him down basically. So, and I think Marco has like the perfect ability to wait out an opponent, basically. You know?
Yeah.
Flying plus regeneration, that's gonna be super annoying to deal with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Little camping bitch. But
right.
No, I like Marco, but
yeah. My turn.
Yep.
Okay, Sabo,
Okay.
Lucci,
Oh. Okay.
Kong.
Oh, you on this Kong agenda again?
Not the Kong agenda.
I had to look. If he's like a former fleet admiral, he's younger than Sengoku. I feel like I just have to put him on the list at that point, just based off of that. Like that's it. I mean, that's more of my argument. Really, there's just mere status. Again, you know how I value the admirals.
Yeah.
I'm putting Sabo under Lucci, just like as I'm putting Zoro under Shiryu. I think those two are going to be fighting each other at the end, you know? And so I always put the villain over the hero before the fight actually happens. That's just how I do that. And then I know it's kind of wild putting Sabo over all the first commanders, but just kind of the way Oda's hyped him up, you know?
Yeah.
Honestly, he's done more than Dragon at this point.
Yeah.
You know, like
that's true.
I think my only thing with, I know this kind of sounds weird, but I kind of think Lucci's fruit is better than Sabo's. I guess I've just never been a big fan of the Marimero no Mi, you know?
Yeah.
But I have more of an appreciation for zones after the Awakening stuff got introduced with them, you know?
I mean, we don't really know much about what Zoan Awakenings really are, besides like the flame clouds.
Yeah.
And I just want to point out Ace's Entei attack for the fire. Like if Sabo has that, then
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Also, we have not seen a Logia Awakening, so
right.
I don't know if you can put zones that highly compared to Logia still.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're higher. I'm just saying I have a more appreciation than I used to.
Right. Okay.
You know, especially since Kaido wasn't awake and Lucci was.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong until an SBS comes out saying, "Oh, he was awakened the whole time."
The whole time. That wasn't his hybrid form.
So, yeah, and like I said, with Lucci, I think there's the fact just going against Luffy in Gear 5, you know, I just think that's impressive. And then he didn't get KO'd, and he still doesn't seem severely injured from what I can tell. He was struggling. I'm not going to sugarcoat that or anything. I'm just saying the fact that you can survive an extended Gear 5 clash, and you're still moving pretty okay. I think that's like a pretty damn good feat.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. And yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. Okay, here's gonna be some salt. Number 18 is Crocodile.
Wow.
Ooh.
Just based on the fact that he's been put like up there with Mihawk, like when the Cross Guild was formed.
Yeah.
And based on how much like the government considers him a threat, just based on his bounty increase, like he's, I think he has what, like the 10th highest bounty or something.
Yeah.
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 So, and if the hockey sand is real, if my I'm hanging on to that one random panel that it looks like hockey sand.
Yeah.
But then My 17's Sabo, and then my 16's Lucci. It's the same argument.
Okay.
That Akainu Fanboy had.
But I mean, for Crocodile, like, just the way he's being portrayed along with Mihawk, the bounty, everything else. I mean, I think it's safe to assume that he's about this strong. I mean, you could even assume he's stronger.
Yeah. I just wanted to be conservative with that just based on his, like, we haven't seen him post-time skip.
Right.
And,
yeah.
Okay, then. My 18 is Lucci.
Okay.
My 17...
Genuinely shocked you had him that high.
No, I think he's
all
strong.
The shit you've been talking, after all the shit.
Listen. This does not change the fact that he got low diffed, okay? I just think everybody else...
Okay, sorry.
All right. And then my 17 is Eustace Captain Kido, and my 16 is Trafalgar D. Water Law.
Okay. I was thinking, oh, are you going to put Sabo after that? But you have Sabo so much lower.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sabo's going to need a training arc.
Yeah.
He is. He's going to need a showing.
Vivi's going to have to show him how to fight.
All we know is he escaped Mary Jo unscathed, so...
Yeah.
Against two admirals, technically, so... You know, I might be underrating him, but... I think it's safe to put him here for now. I don't like him anyway. But Long Kid, yeah, they're really strong.
Yeah.
2v1 versus Big Mom, I mean... It was tough, and honestly, I still wasn't convinced they even, like, KO'd her, because she just fell into a hole. But at this point in time, it looks like they did, so...
Yep.
I think they're looking good right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, 15.
My turn?
Yeah.
It's weird I have a similar list with Jimemperor at this point. Kid for 15, Law for 14, and then Sengoku for 13.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was going back and forth on this a lot because I always thought like Sabo was above them, you know. But then I saw Lucci's performance where I know Gear 5 is weird and you can say like the damage and the fight wasn't concluded and shit, but like in my head I can see Kid and Law doing way more damage to Luffy than what Lucci was doing. And if I have like Sabo and Lucci roughly the same, then Sabo would be below them at this point, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. And especially just Law's performance with Blackbeard too. It's really fucking good, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Law's turning into goated level pretty quickly, you know? Like, it's pretty impressive. And the same with Kid too. Like, Kid and Law taking out Big Mom, who, okay, unlike Kaido, didn't really take that many hits before her demise, you know? While Law and Kid had taken numerous hits at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And, frick, like, Kid was getting stabbed by Hawkins, like, and fighting Big Mom, and he still, like, won that.
Yeah.
You know, with Law's help. Like, that's way better feats in terms of, like, Lucci, Sabo, like, anybody below this list, basically. So, I think they, like, did a great job with that. Now, for Sengoku, we've seen him fight Shiki, right? And Shiki,
yes.
I know he's kind of a gag character with the movie, but yeah, I would say he fought a Yonko and won with Garp. He fought a Blackbeard and would put a lot of pressure on him. I think his zone fruit could be broken, to be honest, like if it were to like be awakened and stuff, because it's like a mythical zone fruit, you know? And yeah, so that's basic. And also just Admiral, again. Like, I know he's old and everything, but that's just how I see him. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand. I'm just... yeah, I don't really know what he's going to be like after retirement, so that's why I just put him lower than everyone else who's been keeping up during the time skip.
Mm-hmm. But the old heads are like probably the hardest to place.
Yeah.
But I still assume they're very strong. Not as strong as their peak, but just a little bit less.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you imagine Luffy getting pretty old like that, do you think his power level is going to drop that dramatically? You know, and that's kind of how I see it. You know,
yeah, that's true.
The stamina may be a lot, but like not maybe attack power that much at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, get your turn.
Okay. I'm looking at my list. You know what? I'm gonna keep it the way it is. So, number 15 is Yamato.
Let's go.
Number 14 is Law. And number 13 is Katakuri.
Oof, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Katakuri above Law is crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, those
and Yamato.
Those were the two that I was going back and forth with, but I think just Katakuri, just with his future sight and everything, just has a very good advantage because he knows how to use it in combination with his devil fruit. The way that like we see that like Kaido was like, oh, I have future sight too, and then he doesn't like use it to his advantage really that much. So, but yeah, I'm just thinking about who would win in a drawn out fight because Katakuri was going against Luffy that whole time. That whole night.
Yeah.
He has like constant future sight, which might be hard to keep up.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever seen another character do that.
Yeah. I mean, all of these three are like they could be interchanged, but that's how I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my 15 is Admiral Greenbull.
Okay.
I definitely think he's the weakest admiral. I don't think that's a question at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Number 14 is Crocodile. I actually rated him higher than Geboss.
Wow.
As I said before, the way he is being portrayed, we haven't seen him fight after time skip. So I just think if he's being compared to Mihawk, I don't think there's any way in hell he's as strong as Mihawk.
Yeah.
But I think he's very strong. He has hockey, 100%. I don't think that's a question.
Yeah.
If he has a bounty that high and everything, I mean, Oda is clearly trying to portray Crocodile is very strong now. He's a lot different than he was pre-time skip. Mm-hmm. So I think it's safe putting him here.
Nice.
About over the weakest admiral.
Yeah.
I like him there. Okay. And then my 13 is Sengoku. Same as Akainu Fanboy.
All right.
Yeah.
Man, that's kind of weird how parallel
we have a lot of similar placements.
I will say that Crocodile is like a hard counter to Green Bull's Devil Fruit. Just like eroding all the plants and everything, so.
Yeah, I might drop on this Crocodile hype trade because it's just going to make my boy look better. I'm just saying that much. Where he's fighting an admiral level guy at the Marine Ford with the rest of Whitebeard's crew. I'm just saying. But anyways, so next Rayleigh for 12, Garp for 11, and then Luffy for 10.
Oh my!
Not even in the top 10.
What?
So I have odds. So okay, I would have my only thing is like just reflecting on Luffy's fight with Kaido. I don't know. Like I still think Kaido would be way above Luffy if he was on this list. Is what I'm trying to get across. You know, just the fact that he died twice basically in that fight. And the amount of freaking damage that Kaido took I just can't see that as a clean 1v1 in any. It's way more broken than the Katakuri situation.
Yeah.
Like, no, he's really, really strong right now, but when you need that much in the way of handicaps to take down a Yonko, the characters above him, I don't think they would need as many handicaps to take down Kaido, if that makes sense. You know what I'm trying to get across?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why everybody above him there, when you just read through the fight again, Luffy got the amount of cheat codes is insane. Is what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, yeah, even after Gear 5, he was still taking hits from Kaido. So.
Right, and I'd say like that's kind of my main point there. I would put though if Big Mom was on my list, I'd put Luffy over Big Mom because that's how much I disrespect Big Mom though. So.
So
to be fair, you disrespect like Green Bull so much over all the other admirals, and that's just how I feel about Big Mom in comparison to all the other Yonko at this point. You know.
No, fair enough.
Well, that's because you're sexist.
Same with Yamato.
Let's move on.
Real quick. I think you are really underrating Advanced Conqueror's Haki with Luffy and Yamato because that is basically the only reason Luffy is able to get good damage in on Kaido.
That's true.
And this is, I mean, does everyone above Luffy have Advanced Conqueror's Haki? Therefore, would they even be able to hurt Kaido?
Yeah, I think everybody above Luffy has Advanced Conquerors.
Okay.
Yeah. I think...
I'm looking at some of the people who are not on this list, and you think that some of them have Advanced Conquerors.
I'll explain that later.
Okay.
I'll get to it later. Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, just my main point though, just my final argument with the Luffy thing. I think everybody above this list would require at least like half or maybe like just one handicap to defeat Kaido. And he got like a fucking like Easter egg just bonanza of like handicaps in that fight. So that's just the only way I'm looking at it basically.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and also if he can take KO Lucci over an extended period of time in his strongest form, then if that's just like a CP0 agent, then as a result, these guys are going to be higher than Lucci. Than Luffy. That's
Awakened Zone CP0 agent.
Okay, yeah, I get that, but he's still a CP0 agent, right? And you know what I mean? And the rest of these people, let's just say their status is a lot more renowned than a CP0 agent. Okay, but yeah, I'll stop it there. Yeah.
Okay. Am I up? Okay. Number 12 is Green Bull.
Okay.
Number 11 is Fujitora. And number 10 is Rayleigh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really high for Rayleigh.
Yeah.
I'm just basing it off the fact that, like, Rayleigh basically did a Shanks 2.0 on Whitebeard on Hancock's Island, so... Like,
right.
Blackbeard, even with both of his Devil Fruits, was like, nah, I'm not dealing with that.
But Rayleigh did say he would lose the fight, though, so it was kind of like you're living off your hype in a way. Yeah.
Well, that's why he's not above Blackbeard, but...
That's
he
true.
also clashed with Kizaru, stuff like that, so I mean...
Yeah.
He's totally up there.
Yeah, I think he could defeat the Paramecia admirals, not necessarily the Logia ones.
Right. Okay. And we agree Green Bull is weakest admiral.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I forgot that he... See, I didn't even factor in that he was a Logia.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah. That's weird. That's super weird. Yeah.
Okay, so my 12 is also Rayleigh. 11 is Yamato.
Okay.
And 10 is Fujitora.
Okay.
So...
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, do you think that Rayleigh has, like, the Advanced Conquerors, too? Because he definitely has Conquerors.
Oh, no, yeah, he taught it to Luffy, so...
Yeah.
But I mean, probably if you were on the King of Pirates crew and you're his right hand, Zoro already has it. I mean, I'd say he definitely has it.
Yeah.
But old age is the only reason I'd put him under Yamato at this point.
Okay.
And Fujitora, he's an admiral. He's had some time in the series now. And I think I could probably switch Fujitora and Yamato, but I think Yamato is up here. But I mean, just with the feats she's done, I mean, the fruit, everything I said before. And I think Advanced Conqueror's Haki is the strongest ability in the series. So the fact that you two have her so low is much more Akainu Fanboy is insane to me. But yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Yeah. Well, real quick though, should Lucci be a little bit higher on your list because he fought a Gear 5 Luffy for an extended period of time, like Yamato fought?
He got Lotus, so.
Like, there's still. I'm just saying, like, if they're both fighting a Yonko for an extended period of time, like, I don't know. And I would say I don't know. So wouldn't that put Lucci a little bit higher?
I mean, I put Kaido still pretty far ways above Luffy.
Okay,
also,
that's fair.
Okay, he didn't get loaded. That's a joke. But the facts are, Lucci didn't get a hit in. He clashed once, and he got wide-eye blood out of the mouth after probably like a minute of fighting. And he said, "I'm losing consciousness." In my like headcanon, I would say if Luffy didn't have to leave in that moment, one follow-up attack and Lucci's done.
Okay.
I think he was lucky he stopped there, but
did Yamato get any damage in on Kaido though?
I couldn't tell you. I don't remember.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. I think that logic is valid. Yeah. Okay, my turn.
Yep.
Okay. Fuji, 9.
Okay.
Green Bull for 8.
Ooh.
And then Mihawk for 7.
Okay.
So the only reason I'm putting Green Bull, I think Fuji has a better fruit and everything, but Green Bull's the only one that showed us like a feat of like low diffing to Yonko commanders.
Sure.
I mean, they were heavily injured, but
and zones have high healing ability, and it was like a week after the fact too.
Maybe
it was,
but I mean, I would say a better argument for Green Bull would be he took on like all the samurai.
Yeah, and
Yamato. Yeah.
And we just haven't like Fuji. We saw some impressive shit, but I think what Green Bull showed us was a lot better. And then so when it comes to these last 7, it's gonna be really like, not much of a gap between them all, I guess is what I'm trying to say,
Okay.
Yeah, so the only reason I'm putting Mihawk here, and I get everybody's arguments for him and all this stuff, I was talking about Jimemperor this yesterday, there's not that many impressive swordsmen in this series to make the strongest swordsman in the world impressive to me at this point. That's kind of my whole point, I guess. There's Zoro, Vista, and Shiryu, and that's it.
And Tashigi.
And Shiryu, and then so like look at this. Look where I have Shiryu on the list.
Yeah.
So just swordsmen aren't that impressive in One Piece. So that's just the title doesn't hold that much to me. You could say he's a sparring partner with Shanks, but okay, but like, what does that mean at the end of the day? Like, we've seen tons of clashes in between these various people in the top 30 here, and you can quote unquote call that sparring. I just don't think there's just enough there, really. And I'd say like that's it for me. Yeah, for now. Yeah.
I'm imagining like a Mihawk and Shanks level clash, like a Kaido and Big Mom.
Oh wait, well, Josie freaking tanked Mihawk's attack there too. So yeah, we got to keep that.
I mean,
you know?
Was Mihawk trying?
Yeah, exactly. We've never seen Mihawk like even remotely try.
Well, I assume he was trying to some extent if he's throwing an attack at Whitebeard.
He was just saying, "I want to see the power gap between us." So
He did say that like out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then he realized his power wasn't, phenomenal because his boy Jozu came in.
I would say it was a casual attack.
Yeah, I could say. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, continue, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Number 9 is Garp.
Okay.
Number 8 is Luffy. And number 7 is Kizaru. So
interesting.
Basically from Luffy onwards, I would consider them all kind of in the same tier.
Okay.
But yeah, I put Kizaru over Luffy just because, I mean, maybe even in this arc we could see them clash. But just based on how broken Kizaru's fruit is, I'm just putting him above Luffy for right now. And I'm of the opinion that that Gear 5 is not an actual power increase. It just allows Luffy to do more stuff. That's just how I read into it.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would say maybe that it's probably as strong as Gear 4.
I haven't thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So my 9 is Kizaru.
Okay.
My number 8 is Garp.
Wow.
And my number 7 is Kuzan.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
So, as you guys know, I underrate the Admirals just a tad. But Kizaru, I think he's strong for sure, but I don't think he's anything compared to like Aokiji or Akainu. As far as that goes, he has definitely one of the best devil fruits in the series, but at this point in time, I don't know. I don't rate him that highly. I think he's about to go to Egghead, and he's about to get a rude awakening. Spar with Sanji. No, I'm kidding.
Not even with Luffy.
No, I'm joking. No, he's up there, but the people above him, I think, are stronger at this point, especially Garp. I think Garp still got it. I think he's lost it a bit, but I mean, he's the Navy hero. He's about to go fight Blackbeard.
Yeah.
He's way up there. He was alongside Roger.
Mm-hmm.
Very strong. Aokiji, he fought for, it was 10 days and 10 nights with Akainu. I'm correct on that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that is a telltale sign that they are about even in strength, or were about even in strength at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he's that much weaker in comparison. So that's why I put him here.
Okay.
So 6 for Dragon.
Okay. I think Dragon is the only one that could make it on this, just based on reputation alone.
Yeah, he has not done anything.
Yeah, and again with the same logic of Mihawk, his underlings are just not that impressive to me. Like, like look where I have Sabo, and that's still kind of being generous. Let's be real, Yeah. Like I think Beckman, there's a chance that he could take him down, Like, yeah. And the rest of them are dog shit, So I don't even consider them remotely good. And Dragon, like Sabo's done more than Dragon in the series, and just compared to everybody else in this top tier, I know it's kind of a weird power metric, but they're a lot more successful. Everybody else, a lot of them have gotten various W's in various different ways, Yeah.
But Dragon's main opponent is the world government, so I mean, it's hard to get W's there without ending the series.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I guess it's just kind of... Their whole faction just seems incompetent to me, to be honest. Like, Luffy's done so much more damage without even trying.
I think it's because Oda hasn't written them to really do much. I think that's the only reason. We haven't seen that. We've seen them like liberate a couple islands, and that's about it.
Yeah, taking down Pink Beard is not an accomplishment in my eyes. Like it's like, come on. I mean,
yeah.
Wait. Okay, so I only did one, right? Okay, so 5 Kizaru.
Okay.
And then again, I can easily see Dragon being stronger than Kizaru, but he just hasn't done shit for me. And so and then 4 Blackbeard.
Only making it to number 4.
Yeah, my whole own thing. He's still a younger gun. He's still a newbie Yonko. I think next 10 chapters, he's easily gonna be like up there more for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not at that point yet. And a lot of his commanders have been clowned on. Let's be real,
Yeah.
Okay, so but going back with just the Luffy point, everybody above Luffy right here. I don't see them needing 2 lives, or needing all that help from the Scabbards, all those guys fighting Kaido. Now, I'd say a lot of these people would lose fighting Kaido, but Kaido would be in like insane pain, basically. If that makes sense, right?
Including Green Bull and Fujitora.
Yeah.
So back to the Advanced Conquerors thing. You think Blackbeard, Fujitora, Green Bull have Advanced Conquerors hockey?
So I think Blackbeard does. Dragon does. Kizaru, I know it doesn't really seem aligned to his character, but I think with the OG 3 admirals, though, I think the way just kind of Otis portrayed them, I'm thinking back to when Whitebeard did that insane attack of Marineford, and you have the 3 of them standing there with that hockey shield,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that's Advanced Conquerors, but just the way he wrote that panel, it just felt like, okay, these guys are just like, they're like the world's 3 greatest powers,
Mm-hmm.
Fuji, I think, does have strong willpower. He is ambitious. He does think outside the box. He wanted to destroy the warlords, and again, he got that W. He got rid of them,
Yeah.
He's not just like a pawn. I'd say Green Bull would be the weakest case for Advanced Conquerors out of them all, but at the same time, he does get shit done too. He did disobey Akainu's orders. He did just kill a bunch of beast pirates, and he did go over his skis, but he is like ambitious though. He's like an actual Akainu fanboy, right? And clearly, I think Akainu has Advanced Conquerors too, and so if you're trying to model yourself off of that, like I said, this is probably my weakest case for him having it, but I think you could also say all the Yonko have it, and I can say all the admirals would have it too.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think that's a stretch.
Like if you're one of the 3 world's greatest powers, then if one of the world's greatest powers has all of them have Advanced Conquerors, then I think the other ones would too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my logic. Yeah.
Yeah, I see your argument there.
Oh, and I will add, we haven't seen one admiral get all these guys I just mentioned. Not one of them have been like severely injured beyond belief, like remotely.
But they are like. Sorry, they are like the assuming almost final villains of the series. So seeing them already get like severely hurt or KO'd or whatever would kind of ruin the hype of the final battle.
Mm-hmm.
I get that, but just the fact that we saw 3 Yonko go down so far in the story, and
that's just the order things are going in, though.
I get that, but like being the final villains of the series too, or opponents, like. Yeah, in manga, there's usually like a hierarchy when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
True. I think the gap between Yonkos and Admirals has been like reduced drastically though, ever since like seeing 3 Yonko go down.
Yeah.
And just seeing the state of Aokiji and Kizaru after the state of Marineford. I mean, Kizaru didn't take one visible wound from what we can see in that entire war. It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
It's true. That was also when we didn't know about hockey, though, so if he like got hurt or bled, it might have been a bit jarring at that point.
Yeah. But Aokishi did.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Well, that's when we were just starting to get introduced to Haki.
Yeah. So, anyways, I took it outside, but yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So my number 6 is Dragon, as well.
Okay.
My number 5 is Mihawk. And I didn't realize how high Mihawk was until I actually said that.
At least you didn't put him number 1.
Yeah. Did someone do that?
Oh yeah, a bunch of people did that in Braga's top 30.
Oh my gosh. And then number 4 is Aokiji.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, Dragon's the only one that can be really moved around just based on his showings, but I definitely think Aokiji. So I'm just gonna spoil my number 3 is Blackbeard. So just between Blackbeard and Aokiji, I could see it go either way. But I think just having the what's it called? The extra devil fruit from Blackbeard gives him the advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why do you have Aokiji over Mihawk? Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I just think that his devil fruit is strong. Like, I just think that he's really strong.
Aokiji over Mihawk too.
Yeah, and I mean Mihawk is the world's greatest swordsman, but just that fact alone doesn't negate Aokiji's powers. Like I could see him probably fighting Kizaru, because Rayleigh was even going up against Kizaru. So, but Aokiji's a bit different. Like we have to scale him to Akainu, who he fought like that 10 days thing. We have to scale him to that. So, yeah.
Okay. So my 6 is Mihawk.
Okay.
My 5 is Dragon.
Okay.
And my 4 is Akainu.
Ooh.
Didn't even make top 3. Wow. But yeah. So Mihawk being this high, if he's going to be Zoro's final opponent, I don't think I see Zoro being any stronger than anybody above Mihawk. So I think he's safe about there. Strongest swordsman, but I still don't think he's as strong as Shanks. A lot of people think he's stronger. I'm not in that boat. Because I don't know when the last time they fought is, or if Shanks even cares about the title, or if he's even considered a swordsman. So, for that fact, and Dragon again, he's a wild card. I mean, he could be like top 3, maybe even. I don't know how strong the guy is. We haven't seen anything from him. And Akainu, I just underrate admirals. It's a fact. And until, the only fight we've seen, we know he's fought Aokiji. That's another admiral, and then he's fought Whitebeard, who he got mid-diffed by.
He got up after
he did.
Whitebeard and was willing.
Whitebeard with a hole in his chest.
Face. Yeah, took off his face too.
And was like basically ready to take on his whole crew.
Yeah.
And Crocodile.
Yeah. And Crocodile, who is now like one of the strongest characters in the series now. So right. Yeah,
not back then. That was the Crocodile that got
okay.
That got beaten by episode 1 Luffy.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Also, Whitebeard had a hole in his chest.
I mean, yeah, and also, to be fair, you could say Akainu did the majority of the damage on Whitebeard.
Sure.
Like having magma go through your organs must not be fun. So I think that's gonna.
I would assume no.
Do more do more than the Blackbeard pistol.
Yeah.
Blackbeard pistol.
Dude, those were hockey pistols. Izo showed us that.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna be an SBS too. Yes, those are all hockey bullets. That
oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I still just can't get over the fact that Izo fought Kaido with just bullets.
Yeah. Okay.
Hockey bullet.
Yeah.
Okay, so me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your top 3.
Okay. Aokiji. So again, him Blackbeard can be switched out. My logic is if they were to fight, then yeah, Blackbeard's gonna get stronger through that fight, and then will be over Aokiji kind of thing. And I still think there's a little bit of growth that Blackbeard needs. He's still lower bounty in terms of Yonko, and whenever Luffy gets a big W, Blackbeard gets a big W. I think he's about to get that big W, but he hasn't gotten it yet, so that's why he's there.
Yeah.
2 is Shanks, 1 is Akainu.
Oh.
Nah.
Living up to your name.
Yes, but also here's my new argument. I've already explained extensively the whatever. Like it would take him 2 years to find the One Piece, or was it a year? I forget.
Yeah.
1 year. Right. Okay.
Something. Yeah. Like that.
Yeah. Obviously, his feats go without saying. I've explained them over and over. I think my newest point of evidence. I know this is more of a weird argument. Is that only him and Blackbeard haven't been used at all in the movies.
Right.
And I think there's something intentional about that. Because I think those are kind of going to be the 2 last antagonists in the series, while Shanks was used in the movie, in the last one, And I just think in terms of just the storytelling, if you're holding back the characters in a way, even like in the movies, then that means you really, really, really just want to hide and save them for like being the strongest or the final. Like we know more about Shanks' backstory than Akainu at this point.
Yeah, I think Shanks being shown in the movie recently might be a good indicator that he's coming up soon in the main story.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just think it's kind of interesting that Blackbeard and Akainu haven't been used at all in any of the movies.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'd say like that's kind of my final argument. I've already shown my proofs for Akainu over and over again and stuff, but yeah, I'd say that's it. Yeah, for me.
Okay. So number 3, like I said, was Blackbeard. Number 2 is Akainu.
Okay.
And number 1 is Shanks. So I'm just saying Shanks's hockey, because Oda's been putting out the thing that it's that hockey's the new hotness right now, not devil fruits. So just Shanks, his one display of like Conqueror's hockey miles away from Wano against Green Bull was enough to like make him run away. And just him having that control and power with his hockey, I think just puts him on a whole different level than some people. Even more than Akainu. And just based on the fact that like he blocked Akainu's punch, which is said to be the most destructive devil fruit. So he could probably go up against him pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, that feat from a mile away from Wano or whatever is
Yeah.
Still probably the most insane hockey feat we've ever seen. We haven't even seen anything like that from Kaido.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, no, yeah. I agree with that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think you're slightly undervaluing Shanks with that.
Yeah. No, I mean, they could go either way, but I would say just the way Oda's described his character, I'm just looking in the context of the whole story. That's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been described in a greater way, like, in terms of that, you know, just like finding the One Piece in that period of time and everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Also, and just that movie argument too. I don't know. For some reason, I saw Shanks a little lower because we saw more of him in a movie. I know that sounds really weird, but the ones you're more likely to show more of first, I think, kind of downplays you a bit, I guess, in terms of like your value, in terms of where you're going to be at by the end of the series, I guess. That does that make sense? I know that's really a weird proof, but
No,
that's how
I understand.
Yeah. But I just think that in terms of the story, again, I think that Oda's just saving Blackbeard and Akainu what they can really do for later on in the story. And we didn't even really see like what Shanks could really do in film Red. Like he showed up, he did a couple things, but that's not the extent of his power. It was more like a showcase of like, oh, here's some of the things he can do, but he like, was he really even trying that hard?
Oh no, I'm not saying he was. I'm just saying, but the fact that like you won't show those two period in a movie.
Yeah, I mean,
and like
Akainu's
even in the story, post time skip Akainu, like Oda's teasing over and over and over again, like he's stuck behind a desk, like he can't show up, because I think there's kind of the implication if he did show up, it's kind of game over, right? Because he has the personality like. After Marineford, he immediately got on that boat to capture Blackbeard right after the Marineford. The guy doesn't give up. Like what I mean is like a strong indicator of Conqueror's haki. So I think Oda is basically using the Fleet Admiral position to contain him, because if he were to show up earlier in the series, he would end it for the Straw Hats, basically. I think that's kind of how he's using that in terms of a plot way. Because we've seen post time skip Blackbeard, but we haven't seen post time skip Akainu at all.
That's true.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just how I see it, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 3 is Blackbeard as well.
Okay.
My number 2 is Monkey D. Luffy.
That's.
Okay. And my number 1 is Shanks.
I noticed that Luffy wasn't on your list yet.
Yeah, listen, okay? So, what hockey feat has Blackbeard shown? All right.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's only been confirmed in like data books that he can even use armament and observation.
Yeah. So, I mean, Kaido said, hockey's the strongest in the sea. That's what Roger used to conquer the sea, blah, blah, blah. And Blackbeard's clearly, trying to cheat. He relies on cheap devil fruits. That's his whole theme of his crew, right? So,
yeah.
Honestly, at this point, with Luffy having advanced forms of every single version of hockey, I mean, I just think it would obviously be close. Luffy would be half dead by the end, but I think he would beat Blackbeard out in a 1v1 fight.
Should Akainu be over Blackbeard then because you showed more hockey than Blackbeard?
Jeez, those two could probably be interchanged, but for one, I just like to piss you off, and then for two, just Blackbeard's devil fruit combination is just insane. I mean, deactivating Akainu's fruit, I think that would be game over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until I see a hockey feat from Akainu that's like Conquerors or something crazy, like.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of thinking with when Marco and Vista attacked Akainu, I don't know if you could use that hockey logic with Akainu back then, where their hockey just wasn't strong enough to breach his devil fruit kind of thing, implying that he has a considerable hockey level, I guess, So just kind of a thought there, and I would say one thing too, Akainu has familiarity with fighting with the Quake fruit now.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like at the same point, like I get Blackbeard has, the darkness fruit and all that, but at the same time, I think the deficiency in hockey too, like to such an extent, right? I think like would give Akainu the edge over that, basically, because obviously these guys were like strong before they became admirals. Like, it's just in terms of just raw hockey and physical ability. But Blackbeard, it's kind of hard to say he has a lot of that, just raw physical talent and hockey talent and all that stuff, you know?
Yeah. Didn't he take he took a head-on hit from Whitebeard, though, did he not?
I mean, a severely weakened Whitebeard, but yeah.
True.
Yeah, like, that dude was barely going at that point.
Yeah, he was at 1 HP, for sure.
Yeah. And if you're struggling that much over a weakened Whitebeard, I think something to be desired there, you know? But also, I don't see Mihawk Seraphim doing that to Akainu. I think Mihawk Seraphim's not going to be around anymore after that, you know? So...
What do you think? The Mihawk Seraphim's going to be the strongest swordsman.
I think he just activates his fruit and then he falls into the lava and he's dead. That's just
yeah.
Like, that's just where I'm at with that, you know? Like,
he's going to get the Sharingan. But I will say the true third fruit that Blackbeard could get to end the series would have been Hancock's. That's why he went after it. No one could resist him.
For real, that's what I'm saying.
He's gonna give it to Burgess, but he gave the strike.
His crew is so ugly. I do not know why he got that.
Yeah, I don't know who would that. It would be the most worthless fruit in the world. Series for that crew.
I mean,
literally the ugliest pirates we've ever seen, and that's the fruit you want.
The only other person like on the crew who he could give the fruit to would be like Vasco Shot or Pizarro. And neither of them, that's a good option.
Maybe Shiryu.
Okuchi's handsome because he's based off an actor, but Okuchi already has a fruit. So, again, it wouldn't even work on Okuchi either, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. He's out of options there. I don't know. Maybe the big dude. I'm blanking on his name right now.
Sanwan Wolf. His devil fruit is the one that makes him that big, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I wanted him to get Katakuri's fruit. No, Katakuri or Cracker's fruit. I think that would have been the... No, the Cracker's fruit with that thing would be...
That would be OP.
Yeah, quick tangent. Imagine if on Whole Cake, on top of stealing pudding, they stole Cracker and got his fruit. Because Cracker's fruit is really broken.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where's he in the top 30?
I might have to go to top 80.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he could be argued to be in top 30. Very strong argument. But,
he probably would have been in my top 40.
Yeah.
So, any closing thoughts, guys?
You are crazy for having Yamato that low.
I'm starting to realize it more. I feel like that was the one I kind of messed up with.
I think we can agree that's the most controversial take on the list.
I thought it was Kobe, or did my arguments kind of make...
No, I don't think Kobe's is as bad.
Yeah, I think having Yamato that low is worse than having Kobe that high.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I think my worst take was Sengoku.
Yeah, that was your worst take. Yeah, that was
And then Jimemperor looks pretty good all around.
Let's go. I win?
Oh my god. No. There's some...
Oh, yeah, besides Luffy.
Yeah, the Luffy... Come on.
He's my worst take? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's
the worst one, dude.
I mean,
it can be
probably the most insane fruit ever with 3 advanced forms of hockey. I think he's up there. He's pretty strong.
Yeah.
He's up there, yeah.
He's up there. He just needs to prove himself against... Like, I want to see him go against an Admiral at this point. And see
all I'm saying is...
with that.
Right. I just don't know what power-ups you can get from this point onward. So, I mean, I'm assuming this is his strongest form.
Yeah.
Gear 6. Anyways, so we'll probably end it here because I really have to go to the bathroom. But anyways, nice. Thank you all for listening. If you listened all the way through, and happy New Year's. This is the Galley La Podcast. Peace.
See ya.
I'll be right back.